Hey guys, this is the XRP Cowboy. Hey, this is Billy. Cowboy's thinking about calling some people out today. I'm telling him not to. It doesn't matter. This is all about the space and the love of the people. Billy doesn't know shit about love. He's a sheep, first of all. And it is about the love. I respect your dreamers, Billy, but my roadies, we need to have a conversation. Computer, play.
Amazon Music is streaming on another device. Would you like to stream from here instead?
Yes.
I ride east every other Friday, and if I had it my way, a day would not be wasted on this drive.
Yeah.
I want so bad to hold you. Some there's things I haven't told you. Your mom and me, we couldn't get along. So I drive and I think about my life and wonder why did I slowly die inside every time I turn that truck around right at the Georgia line. I count the days and the miles back home to you on that Highway 20 ride. We're almost home, dreamers. We're almost there, my roadies. A day may come you'll realize, if you could see through my eyes, there was no other way to work it out. A part of you might hate me, but some please don't mistake me for a man that didn't care at all. And I drive, and I think about my life and wonder why did I slowly die inside every time I turn that truck around right at the Georgia line. I count the days and the miles back home to you on that Highway 20 ride.
Computer, play Forever Young. My wife is telling me it's time to go, but we got a show
Here's Forever Young.
on that Highway 20 ride. So, FTX, Sam Bankman and Fried, SBA, SBF. Computer, play Forever Young. You know, I'm just
Here's
sick of
Forever
hearing
Young.
about this shit. We all know he's a puppet. We all know it was a plan. It's done. We all know Kevin, you know, should be sued, and he's getting sued. We said it first on this channel. Let's talk about saying things first, my roadies. Cowboy's a little frustrated. Heaven can wait, we're only watching the skies, hoping for the best but expecting the worst. Are you gonna drop the bomb or not? Computer off. I mean, let's talk about some things we said on this channel 2 years to a year and a half ago. Kevin O'Leary was bashing Bitcoin. We said he'd be buying it, and that's why he was bashing it. It happened. We talked about how Warren Buffett was talking about, I mean, this is a year and a half, 2 years ago, just after the lawsuit was dropped, how he'd be investing in crypto. And he was talking about how I don't invest in stores of fear. Well, then he's buying gold and silver, and he's owning banks that are directly invested in crypto. So we nailed that stuff, okay, way before. It's no surprise, you know, that these assholes are, it's the playbook, you know, it's the playbook. I don't want to get too into it because we have company, but I want to throw some bullets out there. Jeremy Hogan, love you, Jeremy. You know, when he talked about in his video how what could go wrong really bad, like if they had to pay all this money, it would like bankrupt the company. Well, that's not true either. If they had to pay all this money, worst case scenario, There would be some form of a payment arrangement over a time frame, and it could look like, a portion of the distribution of their XRP is paying, for this lawsuit. They don't care about getting the money today. They just care about getting it, okay? So it's not going to bankrupt Ripple is my point. So rest assured, that's not and he said it wouldn't anyways, but bottom line is he's speaking in a whole number which they would only be able to collect what Ripple could afford to pay them. I guarantee you that. I have a law background. I'm not an attorney. I just studied it. And, what I do know is you can only get what you can get, okay? Let me see. Oh my God, I put Mr. Potato Head. He's a friend on Twitter. He's cool though. You should follow him on Twitter. Public. Okay, so I just want to touch on this really quick. Ripple stated that they are going to go public the minute this lawsuit's over. Now, there's a narrative there. What people have to understand is if Ripple is going to do just a fraction of what they claim to be doing or try to accomplish, that is not going to be entrusted in a private company because there isn't enough transparency and clarity. See, private companies don't have to show what public companies do. So therefore, it would have to be a public company for that to happen, for them to accomplish their goals in putting a dent in the universe. Okay? So there's a narrative there. Let's talk about Kevin. Okay, we called that like 2 years ago, Kevin flipping, maybe even before that on my channel. Also, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we talked about how ETH and Bitcoin, there was going to be this narrative, like an SEC lawsuit against Ethereum, and something was going to hurt it. And right at the time, or around the time that XRP got its clarity, the money would transfer out from their market cap into XRP because it's the only one with regulative clarity. You could argue Bitcoin, but let's say the only thing with utility with regulative clarity. I remember talking about that, and I got ripped the fuck apart, okay? And you know what? It's okay, because I'm not a sensitive person, but now we're seeing everybody talking about that, how it could happen. Just saying, I believe content in someone's channel should be based on the quality of their content. And when I say quality, I mean, the speculation and all that, and the ideas it might put in your own head to think, so you can think for yourself. And ultimately, the accuracy. No one gets it right every time. No one. But I will say, a lot of people get it wrong all the time. And so I believe the quality of the content that we get should have a certain degree of accuracy. And I think we're making these bullet points so we can hi, Aunt Esther.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi. So we can, show some quality here. So we did talk about Warren. That all came true. We talked about O'Leary. That came true. ETHgate and all that stuff. That started coming out long after the cowboy mentioned it. Okay? Well, I guess that's been around forever. But as far as being a security and getting sued, I'm sure somebody mentioned it years ago. Who knows? But I'm just saying it wasn't mainstream. And Bitcoin, the narrative for me at the time was probably it would be something with green and all that stuff. And it could still be. And then all of a sudden, we see Larson's start talking about making Bitcoin green. I don't even know if, it seems like he wants to do that, but maybe he's pushing, XRP, bringing attention. Maybe his whole goal is to bring attention to how, Bitcoin isn't energy efficient, which supports the narrative of XRP being the one, right? I don't know. Either way, this will affect the price of Bitcoin. And now we see other things like Tether, and that was also a narrative way back then that we had talked about, how if something happened to Tether, how it could really hurt the price of Bitcoin. Once again, I believe these events are going to happen very close to the time after, XRP settles, right before or after. And that was my narrative from the beginning. And now we see it come to fruition, right? So it's very important just to pay attention to these timelines. I do believe this is about all the money and it all being transferred into XRP. I do think that this lawsuit here, it was the narrative to give XRP clarity before anyone else in the space. And as my nose is running, sorry, but I got people coming in here. But the thing is sorry, I've been sick all week. You know, and now, you know, like I have this feeling that, you know, the banks control the world, and what's happening here is, you know, maybe this lawsuit was by design, which is why Brad Garlinghouse has been so catty and free-spirited through the whole thing. You know, I mean, government moves slow, okay? And ultimately, you know, sometimes the fastest way to clarity is maybe through enforcement. Maybe it's all the big plan, you know? And we will be the first with clarity. And I've said this a year and a half ago again. And now we're hearing John Deaton say this, and even Charles Hopkinson from ADA, that this could be a big problem for the space settlement. Why would it be? Well, I'll tell you why, because it's going to give clarity to XRP, not the space. And now everyone's on standby waiting to see, you know, what's going to happen. And he's pretty much begging people right now. He's like, it's up to us what happens with ADA, meaning the price of ADA. Now it's starting to make a little more sense about his narrative a month or so ago about how he was bashing it. You know, I think he knows that this is about, and everybody else thought that this was going to give clarity to the space. You know, not everybody, but a lot of people that don't watch this channel. And I said, this is all designed to give clarity for the one, XRP. Now we're seeing, you know, people like John Deaton and Charles saying this, and other people. We also see the people that are investing in like big maxis like Bitcoin, and you got Jim Cramer, everybody bashing this coin, you know, because they're talking their book. You know, it's kind of sad, but they're panicked. Okay, they're panicked. That's what it is. Just know though that we, you know, roadies, we've been calling the shots from day one here. We also said right after the lawsuit was dropped that we wouldn't get our Flare tokens until a settlement was reached. And it's kind of funny, every time they were supposed to give us our tokens, that Flare, something came up or they had to change it. And those ran very close to parallel with projections of settlement dates and summary judgments and things, you know, before they got pushed back. And what, Flare's been pushed back, I don't know how many times, 6? You know, we called it before it was pushed back 1 time. This is not a coincidence. You know, how many coincidences before something's mathematically impossible? Okay? So we did that. We talked about Ethereum. I got slaughtered for the Ethereum, the Bitcoin. And that still is yet a wait and see. Bottom line, though, is the narrative's out there now, and it wasn't. And then the clarity in the space. We talked about that in multiple videos. You know, you go back a year to 2 years, you'll see all this stuff. We talked about Warren, we talked about that. You know, in FTX, we keep hearing about how Sam is, you know, I don't care. They say it's going to be years. Who gives a shit? I'm done with Sam. The price moved, cascading effects should be in. We'll see. There might be another one, but big deal. Just move on, okay? It's all a distraction. You know, and what kills me is when you're a small YouTuber, you reach out to a lot of big YouTubers and, you know, you friend them through comments and stuff. And a lot of them are really great, you know. But you also, when you're trying to get out there, you send your videos to them, direct message and stuff to watch. And then every now and then you see one of these big YouTubers use some of your information and you're kind of sitting there waiting for it, right? Sure, maybe they came up with, you know, on their own, maybe. But it's so close and specific to what you were saying. It's like you're waiting for a name drop to help your channel. And then it doesn't come. And I formed this opinion on that. I think when you're small time, you know, some of these bigger YouTubers can adopt your information, you know, and it's not until you have 10,000, 50,000, 20,000 followers that they credit you for it, which is a shame because they know how hard it is to build a channel. But I will say this, and I give love to Jungle Link. You know, I'm not cookie cutter, and I know some of the things I say and do, you know, are ridiculous, and I'll give some comments about that. But, you know, Jungle Link didn't care. He cared about the quality of me as a person and the things I was saying, and he understood the message. And the message wasn't about pump and dump and price and all that. It was more about words and getting through tough times. He saw that in me, and he was kind enough to not only support my channel, to mention me on his channel. I think I had 150 followers or something, and even interview me on his channel. He did not care about how, touching, bumping in the cowboy may, look, or how it may be perceived for his channel, And thank God he got a lot of good comments, and there were a few bad ones, but he really put himself out there, and I appreciate it. I for 100% certain I would not be at 1,000 subs if it wasn't for Jungle Inc. And I'd probably be closer to 200 or 300. So I love you, brother, and thank you for taking a chance with me. You didn't need anything from me, and you still were there for me, brother. So sending love. Now let's talk about my favorite comments. One, I remember the price was crashing, and somebody watched my video, and he's like, "Oh, great. Now we have some guy in a meth lab giving us advice on crypto." It's kind of funny looking back. I was so pissed when I saw it. It's a garage, dude. And then the best one of all was, "We're in trouble. We've got a homeless guy pushing XRP now." It was like, what the... It was a garage. I was cold. I was bundled up, dude. But still funny looking back. So, I don't know. I mean, take what you want from this. But, no. There's a wealth of information in my older videos from a year back that, totally came true. And I'm just touching on a few things. And what are you going to do? You got to pay the cost to be the boss. And we're almost there. We got Flare tokens coming in SEC settlement. We've got money transferring from the total altcoin market cap that's going to flood. I mean, it's not going to funnel in. It is going to be a tsunami flood of liquidity going into XRP once we have this clarity. Make no mistake, our day is soon. Moon soon. Moon soon of liquidity, okay? Please like, subscribe, my dreamers, my roadies. Hope you like this video.